What is going on, everybody? Voidlego here, back with a brand new Let's Play of Higurashi When They Cry. This game, or visual novel, has always interested me. I always say that at the beginning of all these Let's Plays. But I've always heard this game is very interesting, despite its cutesy nature on the outside. As some might say today, like it's the original Doki Doki or whatever. But yeah, and also I am using the '07th mod, which basically adds on console graphics and voiceovers from the console releases of this game. So thanks to them for the mod. And yeah, let's just get right into it. This is a traditional visual novel. It's not even AI the Somnium files. Ugh. So let's hope I can make this entertaining when it's just me reading a novel, pretty much. Onegashi. Demon Away Chapter. Welcome to the world of the Higurashi When They Cry. The Okanashi art will be the opening, inviting you into this world. Sit back, relax, and enjoy life in Hinamizawa to the fullest. I'm sorry for my pronunciations of these. Difficulty for this chapter is extremely high, but I hope you will enjoy the ward. Difficulty. Okay, very great. All right off the bat. Please do not deplore yourself. Even if the world does not forgive you, I will forgive you. Please do not deplore yourself. Even if you do not forgive the world, I will forgive you. So please tell me, what will it take for you to forgive me? Vertica and Keiichi. Depiction. Alright. June XX 1983. Ooh, already to a great start, huh? If I was going to be whipped apart anyways, having my body whipped apart would have been far better. I thrusted her. Excuse me? No. I still trusted her. Even in this very moment, I trust her. But I'm starting to realize I only wanted to trust her because I refused to accept the truth. It was as if I was trying to convince myself in such a silly, sobbing voice. And those tears making a mess of my face. That mechanical, repetitious sound finally stilled, and everything fell silent. Only the cry of the goddess remained, annoyingly loud, and yet I felt as if I could still hear her voice. But that's not possible. She is no longer speaking. The only one crying is me. She never cried. Even when she repeated those words over and over, she never expressed any emotion, because there were none to show. If she had no tears to shed for me, then I shouldn't need to shed any for her. Then why? This pain. My eyes getting moist. Why was this happening? I still wanted to believe I hadn't been split apart. That's enough, right? Inside me, an inner voice whispered gently. My spirit had suffered enough. And countless times I'd waver over whether I should just throw the battered thing away. Except, I've suddenly refused to do that, haven't I? I'd feel better if I just threw it away. Even knowing that I chose to believe, didn't I? Only I can understand that painful struggle and appreciate it. Hey, me? I've tried more than enough. I'll acknowledge that much. So, isn't it alright to just take the easy way out? Besides, I'm not throwing it away. I'm leaving it behind, with her, like flowers by a grave. Now then, calm your nerves. Even though you can't feel your right arm, just lift it up, and with every swing, forget a little more. That kindness made me happy. That adorable smile brought me joy. I liked petting your head. I loved how demure you were. Because this will be the last time. Because when I swing this down, I'll forget. This is my first and last bouquet for you. Perhaps I really did love you. Now that is a cold open if I've ever seen one. Already interested. Already interesting. Damn good hook. Farewell. Somebody has been apologizing for a while now. I wonder what she's apologizing for. It felt wrong to eavesdrop, so I tried to ignore it. It had been a while since I went to the city. I only returned to attend the funeral of a relative. Even though I lived here or there until last month, I found the bustle of the city to be overwhelming. Those skyscrapers and the multi-lane roads, the medallious cacophony of the crosswalk. Even the campaign speeches blaring in front of the station felt nostalgic. The place where I live now isn't nearly as lively. There's only the chirping of locusts and the babbling of books, and the cry of the Higurashi, the evening catechas. Rather than make me feel lonely, the quietness had begun to instill a sense of serenity. There's nothing where I'm living now. I don't just mean there aren't any burger joints, there aren't even vending machines. No music stores, no restaurants, no arcades. An ice cream parlor? No chance. The nearest town had some stuff like that, but it was an hour away by bike. But come to think of it, it wasn't really a big deal. There were music stores and arcades and ice cream parlors where I used to live, but it wasn't like I ever hang out at any of them. I had lived in the city for 10 years and never once been to an ice cream parlor. I should have gone at least once. It's only now that I'm starting to regret that a little. Somebody's still apologizing. Who is she apologizing to? She's apologized so much, so just forgive her already. There's no reason anyone should ever need to apologize so much. I started to feel a bit annoyed at whoever was refusing to forgive her. No matter how bad the mistake, there's nothing that can't be forgiven. There's no such thing as an irreparable mistake. You just need to be more careful next time. She's still apologizing, even now. Then, has she really done something that can't be fixed? I have no idea what she's done, but if it can't be fixed, then all the more reason to forgive her. No matter how much she apologizes, nothing will change. But even so, she keeps apologizing in such a heartbreaking voice. Hey, you, the one she's apologizing to, why don't you just go ahead and forgive her? She's apologizing in such a pathetic voice.
Keiichi, そろそろ着くぞ。起きなさい。
I was finally roused from my nap by my father's prodding. So our name is Keiichi, yeah? Alright. It seemed the train had reached its final stop. We spent hours riding everything from the bullet train to the local routes. It was hard to believe that the landscape beyond the window in the city I was in half a day ago in that same country. No, they were even from the same era. From there, we'd take a car deeper into the mountains. Man, all these backgrounds are so nice looking. Past where the dense forest encroaching on the mountain road suddenly opened up. There it is. This little, quaint town where horrors unimaginable will happen. Most likely. There, where I live now. Hinamizawa. Hinamizawa. I'm probably pronouncing that completely wrong. Higurashi When They Cry. How many times will we put the title in the game? You're going to find out. Let's get a counter. Even though we were approaching summer, the morning air had a triggered bite. Although in exchange you could fill your lungs up with crisp green air. Flipping open the window, I was greeted with a verdant expanse. Nothing but trees. The neighboring house was far away on the other side, so I was probably the only one enjoying that view and that air. I filled my lungs with another deep breath. Since I started living in Hinamizawa, I learned that even the air had its own taste. I quickly finished getting ready for school and headed downstairs for breakfast. My mother was the only one there. My father was nowhere to be seen. Well, we say he's got to go get the milk, and he's probably going to be gone for the rest of the game. He was probably up working until the early morning. Dad had a rather unconventional job as a painter. It's such a laid-back profession. Get up when you want, sleep when you want, and work when you want. What do you think I want to be a YouTuber? I was so jealous of that easygoing lifestyle. I even wrote for school that I wanted to be a painter when I grew up. Dad was ecstatic about that. It was just because it looked easy. Never tell him that, though. Mom laid out breakfast on the table. Weighed breakfast. Seaweed, pickled vegetables, raw egg, and grilled salmon. Sounds good. Mom was such a good cook. It was scary. A perfect, immaculate, ideal breakfast. Unlike my dad, who didn't even know the meaning of the word schedule, my mom never squandered any time or event ever. Ugh. She hummed a little tune as she brought over the miso soup. Seems like she was in a good mood today.
こっちに引っ越してきてからケイイチが早起きになって嬉しいわね。
早起きしないと朝飯を食いそびれるんだよ。
I thought I was being cute, responding with a wise crack after being praised for being good.
ご飯はいっぱい？それとも半分くらいでいい？
山盛り。
First, I savored the steaming hot rice with the seaweed. After that, I converted with the egg. And now that I'm thinking about it, why is my inner conscious voice in English, even though I'm obviously Japanese? I disregarded the thought. Between bites of rice, I enjoyed the crunch of the pickles. Not bad after all. Excellent, as usual. Watching me clean my plate, Mom gave me a warm smile.
こっちに引っ越してきてからケイイチが朝食を欠かさないんで嬉しいわね。
Gee, I hope you don't die, Mom. Wait, you don't even have a portrait, so I doubt you're going to be here in this game for long. I was not a morning person when we lived in the city. I slept right until the last minute before school and rarely ate breakfast. Boycotting the breakfast Mom made me each morning. That was probably the only way I could protest being forced to attend cram school. I guess that was what you call my rebellious phase. God, Mom, I don't give a shit about school. I'm not going to eat my breakfast. I wouldn't so much as work at the breakfast you woke up early every day to make. If I could go back in time, I'd sweat myself. Mindful of the time, Mom washed me along with a wide grin.
そろそろレナちゃんと待ち合わせの時間じゃない？
Lena-chan.
急いで急いで。
Mom really seemed to enjoy the fact that her son was going to school with a girl. Lena is one of my classmates. She really loves looking after people, coming to meet me every day without fail. The way I looked at it, a guy my age walking to school with a girl was just lame. But, well, keeping a classmate waiting for me every day wouldn't be very considerate. Seriously though, how long does Rena wait there for me every morning? Taking one last gulp of miso soup made me swear the door. It's just out there for fucking hours, like, could you? God, where is he?
レナちゃんにお漬物ありがとうって伝えてね。
Come to think of it, those pickles weren't store-bought, were they? If I'd known that, I would have savored them a bit more.
はいよ。
ケイイチくん、おはよう。
Her cheerful greeting was as fresh as the morning itself.
相変わらず早いな。たまにはのんびり朝寝坊したっていいんだぜ。
お寝坊したらケイイチくんを待たせちゃうじゃない。
Damn, even fucking mouth moving. This is so advanced. She's so conscientious and such a good
そ
person.
ん時は置いてく。
God.
ケイイチくん冷たい。
God, I really hope you don't hang yourself like fucking another brown-haired Japanese girl I know.
いつも待っててあげてるのに。
サクサク置いてく。キリキリ置いてく。
どうして冷たいんだろう。だろう。
Rena had a slightly troubled look on her face. Toying with her was rather fun because of how quickly her mood changed.
嘘。ちゃんと待ってるよ。
With those words, Wena seemed to relax. Ugh. Her face flushed bright red. Oh boy.
ありがとう。
レナが来るまでずーっと待ってる。いつまでも。
Wena turned bright red, steam rising from her head as her brain short-circuited. She's especially weak to this sort of talk. It's quite rare to find someone this fun to tease.
レナはロマンスものの文庫本は読んだことあるか？
ないよ。読んだことない。
From that response, I gathered she was interested in them, but was too embarrassed to actually buy one. I couldn't imagine what would happen if she did read one. Well, I got a recommendation for you. Have you ever heard of 50 Shades of Grey? She'd probably turn red and pass out.
そうそう。お袋から伝言。漬物サンキューでしたって。
Wait, how old are these characters?
どういたしまして。どうだった？しょっぱくなかったかな？
They weren't that salty. Actually, they had a pretty white flavor to them. It would have been fine to just be honest and say they were good, but apparently I couldn't be that forthright.
その前に聞きたい。あの漬物を漬けたのはレナか？レナのお母さんか？
なんで聞くんだろう。しょっぱかった？
Her attitude completely changed as she began to panic frantically.
レナか？レナのお母さんか？
Make the damn choice!
なんで作った人聞くんだろう。太郎。
Just answer the damn question, Rena!
どっちが作ったかで感想が著しく変わる。
She counted frantically on her fingers, trying to remember the amount of salt she used to pickle them. It wasn't like I was trying to tease her, but I couldn't stop myself. Guys who take pleasure in this kind of thing are probably the worst. Guys like me. Man, I'm such an asshole. Would have nervously opened and closed her mouth over and over, trying to muster a response.
レナだけど。
うまかった。前回に続きなかなかだったぜ。飯との相性は最高だった。
Her face went bright red again. She was completely spacing out. It truly was a lot of fun to tease her. I pray that Wena never gets taken advantage by some wool wife. Ugh. Keep at it, Wena. I'll train you until you handle it like the average person. Or so I decided for myself.
行こうぜ。ミオンを待たせるとあいつうるさいぞ。
Seeing as she just keep spacing out otherwise, I called Wena back to reality so we could make our way to school. This strange, easily flustered girl is Wena Rigu. I've only known her for about a month, but I've come to realize it's not just her name that's strange. What is this goofy-ass music? Coming up next to the next rendezvous point, we saw another person waiting for us. Noticing us, she waved.
お、来た来た。遅いよ二人とも。
いつも遅いのはお前の方だろ。
In sharp contrast to diligent Wena, this one marched to the beat of her own drum. She's Mion Sonozaki. For what it's worth, she's our senior and head of the class.
おはようレナ。そしてケイちゃんお久しぶり。何年ぶりだっけ？
I can already tell this is the tomboy.
2日しか休んでねえよ。
そうだっけか？前に会った時はこんなにちっちゃくて可愛かったのにな。
Mion's gaze started at my chest and dropped straight down, focusing on the point between my legs. Oh god. So she was saying it was my crotch that was cuter back then. Before you ask, just to be clear, I've never actually tried to show it to her. Why is it that voice? Oh god damn it. I'm not going to be the one to voice this, god damn it. Being so engorged of energy every morning is quite a problem though. Fantastic. See next time said we should have greeted him properly. Say next time, right now is just fine. How about letting the little guy get a breath of fresh morning air? I don't think I've ever heard talk so dirty you could smell it flowing up the morning air before. Mion sure does act like an old man sometimes. Gotcha. Time for the big reveal. Hope you don't regret it. As my hand reached for my fly, Rena began to ramble in near panic.
ねえねえ、何の話？何の話だろう？何の話だろう？
Okay, at first I thought it was a bug, but now those lines were just never voiced. I mean, hey, fair enough. Fucking fair enough, huh? Fair enough. It's so much more funnier. Red-faced and flustered, Rena tried to play dumb, but it was obvious she knew exactly what we were talking about.
どうだった？久しぶりの都会はさ。
Mion switched gears, dropping the dirty talk and changing the topic as something more befitting the pleasant morning.
葬式で行っただけだぜ。慌ただしいだけだったよ。
でさ、探しといてくれた？頼んどいたやつ。
お前、人の話聞いてないだろ。俺は葬式で帰っただけだぜ。
I saw a
おもちゃ
dead
屋巡り
guy.
してる余裕なんかなかったんだよ。
ち。おもちゃ屋とホビーショップは全然違うよ。特に洋物、こっちじゃなかなか手に入らないからね。
What are you, some type of Western weeaboo?
みーちゃんまたゲームの話？
Mion nodded proudly as Rena giggled.
そう、ケイちゃんに洋芸のカタログを持ってきてもらいたかったんだけどね。
Westport cartridge. Westport was short for Western imported games. Using that abbreviation did make it sound pretty geeky.
そんなのまた通販で取り寄せりゃいいじゃねえか。
ま、そうするかな。またプレイングの熱いゲームを入荷するからね。
Oh, fantastic.
今度は私にもわかりやすいゲームがいいな。
Mion is a board and card game enthusiast, and I hear she's collected quite a lot of different ones. According to Rena, Mion's room has kind of become a museum for domestic and foreign games.
俺にもわかりそうなゲームがあったらやらせてくれよ。
いいよ。
Now, there's this game I found. It's called Call of Duty.
ケイちゃんさえ良ければね。でもうちらのレベルは高いよ。
上等じゃねえか。俺だって遊び100番遅れを取るつもりはないぜ。
はあ。じゃあ今度はケイチ君も仲間に加わるのかな。
Okay. Bristling with joy from head to toe, Rena looked back and forth between me and Mion. Mion gave her an affirmative wink, and her expression perked up even further.
男の子ってきっと外で遊ぶ方が好きだと思ってたからダメかと思ってたよ。
This is the 21st century, Mion. All we do is stay inside and play video games. Winnie laughed happily. From such a friendly conversation, you wouldn't think I had moved here less than a month ago. I understood that they did all they could to make a transfer student like me feel at home. I'll have to try hard to fit in so they won't feel like they have to try to make me feel welcome. Oh hey, by the way, don't you want to join our deaf cult? Oh, time to fit in. I feel like if I acted a bit more open than I usually am, it should probably be about right for this place. Man, ain't this such a quiet, deserted, mountaintop town, huh? Where whoever gets murdered can't be talked about for about 50 years. Hinamizawa was a really small village. Not only was there only one school, but there was only one class. That class encompasses all different grades and ages. There are about 30 students at different levels, and they all study in the same class. I'm told that long ago there used to be a bigger school building and they had actual separate classes, but it mysteriously burned down, and there was a flicker of a goat's head. However, it seems something happened that made it become a single class, and now it stayed that way out of tradition. They murdered all the other students. They murdered the outsiders. I already fucking know this. I was shocked at first, but humans adapt pretty quickly. I've already gotten quite used to it. The sound of children playing started right from the morning. With such a lively mood, it felt more like a kindergarten than proper school. Not that it was a bad thing. Mion, who had been walking in front of us up until then, suddenly let me take the lead. Right in front of the classroom door. So I was meant to stride the door open and enter the room first. Too bad I wasn't going to fall for that again.
ここで先頭を譲るとはな。お手並み拝見ってことかよ。
Oh boy. Mion chuckled with a haughty smirk on her face.
どうしたの二人とも。
下がってろレナ。危ないぞ。やつだ。
え？じゃあ、さとこちゃんが？
Her name was Satoko Higurashi. She was a disrespectful, impudent, bossy kid. The way she talks was annoying, but it would be immature to get worked up over just that. The real problem was this.
見え見えの罠だな。引き戸の上に挟んだ黒板消し。見え見えだぜ、サトコ。
A haughty laugh came from beyond the door.
お見事、ケイちゃん。こりゃ今回は勝負あったかな。
いや、相手はサトコだ。これだけとは思えない。
After falling for such intricate traps since the day I transferred, I no longer let my guard down. Satoko liked to combine a variety of traps. Traps that were simply there to bait you into the main one. Traps that would mostly kept coming at you like a sadistic Rube Goldberg machine. The list goes on. Gee, I wonder if that's a, foreshadowing, ruthless torture traps, maybe? I'm just saying. As well as being clever, they were almost never misfired. When you least expected, she strikes. No escape, no time to
見たと
relax.
ころ黒板消しは普通。石とかは入れてないみたいだな。
I took a pretty heavy hit from the blackboard eraser loaded with rocks on my first day.
じゃあさ、ガラガラって開けて落としちゃえばいいんじゃないかな。
それだ。
That's what Satoko was after, making me focus my attention upward, so as I lifted my hand to the door, there was thumbtacks stick to the sliding door handle with tape, a frightening trap, Jesus. A potent and terrifying trap, like fucking thumbtacks, jeez. Concealed by using the blackboard eraser. Satoko is just literally just Jigsaw, but probably an anime girl. Hello, Keiichi. Time to get the spare trap off your face.
見事なコンボだ、サトコ。だが所詮はガキの浅知恵だったな。
Assured of my victory, I threw the door open and stepped into the room. I felt something strange on my ankle. Then I fell and broke my fucking skull open and died. It was similar to the sensation of a trump rope catching on my leg. By the time I realized she had me, hook, line, and sinker, it was already too late. I began to fall in an almost picturesque manner.
ケイちゃん、避けて。
Instinctively reacting to Mion's sheer warning, I twisted my body in midair before I landed on the floor.
いっててて。
An inkstone filled to the brim was placed right where I would have landed. Shuddered, imagining a situation had I landed square on it.
あらあら、これはこれは。
Of course she has the fucking thing. Why wouldn't she have the damn anime thing?
おはようございます、ケイチさん。朝から賑やかですわね。
Alright, you fucking demon. Still sprawled in an awkward position, I was greeted by a mocking voice.
一段とスペシャルなトラップワークになったじゃないか、サトコ。
私何のことかわかりませんもの。
Oh, you little shit.
朝からついてませんわね。
てめえ。あ、いててててて。
It seemed I inadvertently sprained my back a little when I landed. Better than landing on that inkstone. The small hand gently rubbed my head.
ケイチの痛いの飛んでいけです。
The small, dainty hand continued to gently stroke my head.
腰とかはくじかなかったですか？こうして撫でていれば痛いのは消えてきますです。
Well, it's the thought that counts. I thought about asking how rubbing my head would help my back, but I didn't. It's not so much as what you actually do. It's the fun. I just said that! It's the fun that counts.
ありがとな。リカちゃんのおかげで痛みが引いてきたぜ。
God, I feel like I'm always like 5 steps ahead in these games.
おはよう。レナにおはようございます。みんなにもおはようございますです。
Maybe should I just set it to auto? No, I kind of want to read the inner monologue, so it doesn't have to get skipped. Rika-chan greeted each of us with an adorable little bow. It was infectious. Rena, Mion, and I all bowed back. Except for that little shit.
リカちゃんはいい子だよな。それに比べてサトコは。
I queried over in her direction. Satoko was whistling while rather deliberately trying to avoid eye contact.
サトコはいい子でございますのことよ。
I'm going to beat the shit out
いい
of
子は
you.
こんな凶悪な罠は仕掛けないぞ。
言いがかりでございますわ。何の証拠があって。
I picked up Satoko by the back of her collar. She looks like a misbehaved cat when I do this. But a cat wouldn't be setting traps. She's much harder to deal with.
ごめんなさいって言ってみな。言わないなら。
I cocked my index finger on my thumb, wanting to tremble as I brought it closer to Satoko's forehead.
暴力反対ですの。証拠もないのに。
言っとくが俺のデコピンはすごく痛い。ベニヤくらいなら割る。
やめて、寄らないでけだもの。
人様が聞いたら誤解するような言い方をするんじゃねえ。
A small hand tugged on the back of my shirt.
ケイイチが2日間もお休みしたから寂しかったのです。
Rika-chan really is just so... How could I do anything more after being told that? Generally always my grip on Satoko, who at this point was on the verge of tears. She still had her eyes clamped shut as she braced herself for a forehead flick. Great, now she's fucking
悔しくなんか
crying.
ないもん。泣いちゃダメです、サトコ。
Haha, title drop, kind of.
ファイト、おーです。
Rika gently petted the head of her prankster friend. You would never guess those two are the same age. Yeah, I could. I think Satoko could warn a finger a million from Rika-chan.
今度はもっとすごい罠を仕掛けなさいですよ。
Wait a minute. As she observed the scene, Rena's expression grew ecstatic as she began to swoon, and her eyes became black dots.
サトコちゃん泣いている。かわいいよ。
持ち帰っちゃダメだからね。
だってこんなにかわいいよ。
どんなに可愛くてもダメなの。
でもちょっとくらいならダメかな。
Rena kept a cutesy face even as outrageous ideas spewed from her mouth. According to Mion, Rena is ridiculously weak to cute things and always tries to take them home. Object or a person. That is called human slavery.
物もまずいが誘拐はもっとまずいぞ。諦めろ。
じゃあ見てるだけだよ。それならいいよね。
Rena swooned over Satoko's crying form. If a girl ever goes missing in Hinamizawa, I'll be forced to turn Rena into the authorities. Good thing that will never happen. Forgive me, Rena. I'll be sure to bring you care packages when they put you away.
先生来たよ。早く片付ける。サトコ、すずりあんたのでしょ。
Just from Mion's single statement, the entire mood of the room shifted back to normal. The inkstone was bad, but the thumbtack stuck to the door handle were an even bigger problem. I pulled the tape off carefully, making sure not to skewer it myself. Even though Satoko was the one who set it up, everyone had to pick up after her. By the time the teacher entered the room, the bed ran from before had been neatly tidied up.
間に合ったね。起立。気をつけ。
Mion gave out the morning commands. It's difficult being the teacher for all these different grades in one classroom. She has to teach something different to each one, but naturally she ends up spending all her time with the younger kids. When Mion, being the highest grade in the class, end up mostly doing self-study. They even end up helping teaching younger kids, so it seems they can never get to their own studies. They're actually way behind when my studies have progressed to. As a result, I'm pretty much taking over for the teacher and helping Rena and Mion with their studies.
ケイチ君はお勉強教えるのうまいね。わかりやすいよ。
Rena took a breather after finishing highlighting an important section.
教える端から自信がなくなるよ。自分の理解の浅さがわかるな。
人に教えるには3倍理解してなければならないって言うしね。ケイちゃんもうちらに教えながら同時に復習もできてるわけなんだよ。
Yeah, that's a way to view it. In contrast, this person over here is quite laissez-faire about things. Ooh, fancy word. For one, isn't she supposed to be in a higher grade than me?
ミヨンさ、一言じゃないぞ。真剣にやんないとまずいぜ。こんなレベルじゃ。
別に進学校を目指すわけでもないし、受験に必要なそこそこができてりゃ十分十分。
Her staunch defiance was really something else. This was a different type of relax than somebody already knew what was going to be on the entrance exams.
みーちゃん、ケイチ君が頑張って教えてくれるんだからさ。
Yeah, doing my best to teach third grade math.
私たちも頑張ろうよ。
レナは素直ないい子だな。先生がきっといい学校に進学させてやるからな。
ありがとう。
レナには特に教えてやるからな。二人きりでプライベートレッスンだぞ。
プライベートレッスン。
A puff of smoke shaped like a halo popped out of Rena's head. Exactly what kind of private lesson is she fantasizing about that making her turn so red? I'd like to hear the play-by-play of that next time. Keep that in the old brain. While Mion was flipping through her vocabulary flashcards, she threw out a casual question.
都会じゃさ、こんなに勉強しなきゃいけないわけ？
Yes.
この程度はできないと進学できないね。
進学できないから勉強するわけ？
まあ、平たく言えばそうなるな。将来役に立たないのは承知で。
こっちじゃさ、出席日数が足りてりゃみんな進学できるんだよ。
Yeah, there's only like, what, 30 kids here?
そうなのか？
Study equals entrance exams. Having that basic wall of the universe so easily overturned sent me into a state of shock.
そうかもね。試験で振り落とさなきゃならないほど人もいないし。
I mean, fair enough.
誰でも進学できるならさ、そんなにガリガリとやることもないんじゃない？
And once you get into the university, you can learn about all the cool occult stuff we do up here, like crucifixions.
まあ、
Wait,
そうだ
what
けど。
was that?
でも一般常識程度にはできた方が。
おじさんはそんな無駄な勉強に時間をかけるよりさ、この思春期の貴重な時間をもっと有意義に過ごすために使うべきじゃないかなと考えるわけよ。
Like what? It was too profound of a statement to simply laugh off. But since it was Mion, it probably didn't actually have that deep of a meaning. In place of a chime, the sound of the principal waving the handbell drifted through the classroom.
ケイちゃん、おしまいおしまい。さあ、楽しいランチタイム。
Alright. In a complete 180 from an unmotivated state, Mion gave the commands that signaled the end of the morning period.
ケイチ君、お昼にしよう。
I might have been making a very troubled face. Rena smiled brightly
よ
at
っ
me.
しゃ、飯にするか。
Oh, hell yeah! Come on, eat! There seemed to be different cliques, even within the class. Most of them were divided up by gender and age, but our group was different. Our ages were different, and we had both boys and girls. But we weren't reserved around each other. This level of openness makes a transfer student like me pretty happy. Rena and Mion pushed their desks together so they were facing each other. At the same time, Satoko and Wika-chan were slowly lugging their desk over as well.
Keiichi-kun, hayaku hayaku.
Rena waved her chopsticks in an unrefined manner, trying to hurry me along. Unless everyone was together, they wouldn't even open their lunchboxes.
ケイイチさんのお弁当は耳ちく日の丸弁当に決まってますわ。さあ、恥ずかしがらずにお見せなさいな。ほらほら。
Even though Satoko was hurling insults at me, she still wouldn't open the lid to her lunchbox until I was there. I pulled out my lunchbox swiftly and dragged my chair over to join the circle.
お待たせ。
では、ミー委員長の号令でいただきますです。
At first, this was kinda embarrassing, but I got used to it pretty fast. At this point, I probably wouldn't even open my own lunchbox if someone else was too slow. Our ages and genders may have all been different, but we were all friends, and there was nothing in the world that could change that, no matter what devious, occult, torture-like things will happen in the future, probably. I don't know.
いただきます。
Yep. The sound of our little 5-part course echoed beautifully throughout the classroom. Really, though, I've gotten pretty used to this group made up of all girls. Of course, there are other boys in the class, but they were a lot younger, so they were scared to approach me. Well, that's to be expected. Younger boys just see older boys as scary. Compare that to girls, or at least these girls aren't picky. We put all the side dishes in the middle where everybody was free to pick at them. I thought girls would mind sharing a mirror with a guy, so I was a bit flustered joining in. However, Mion noticed that and teased me quite a bit. As a fruit of my efforts, I could not reach over and take sides from anybody's lunch.
あらあら、ケイイチさんのお弁当は今日は大奮発ではございませんこと。
あらあら、さとこさんのお弁当こそ大奮発ですこと。煮物がしっくていい感じですわ。
Buying into the fight that Satoko was starting, our chopsticks walked in across counter, stabbing into each other's lunch.
ビミ
お、里芋がいい感じだぞ。煮物は冷めててもうまいよな。
After seeing my happy face, Wika-chan's expression broke into a little smile.
夕べの夕食の煮物少し取っておきましたですよ。
By the way, Satoko and Wika-chan's lunches are always the same. Seems that Wika-chan make it for both of them every day.
この煮物もリカちゃんが作ったのかい？こいつはお袋の味クラスだよな。
I was honestly impressed. The carrot rosettes weren't from a mold. They were done by hand with a knife. It's not easy to do.
リカちゃんって何気にそういうの得意なんだよな。
She's really good at knives. You know, just young girl who's really good with knives. You know, nothing scary about that at
お
all.
裁縫とかお洗濯とかも上手なの。すごいよね。すっごいよね。リカはいろいろとすんごいんですのよ。
お前が威張ることじゃねえ。
僕よりレナの方がお料理は上手です。そのね。
It seemed that the topic of conversation switched to Rena when she wasn't expecting it, making her blush and trip over her words. Rena's lunch really was the start of the table. Not only did it look good, it tasted good. Everyone else pulled from Rena's lunch box constantly, and she had literally nothing to eat at
こ
lunch.
れ前に評判良かったからいっぱい作ってみたの。美味しいかな？
かなり合格点。あ、ミオン、お前取りすぎだよ。
Knocking Mion's chopsticks aside, I reached out, trying to secure my own portion. Satoko and Wika-chan reached over at the same time, and a struggle ensued. Everyone shoveled in mouthful after mouthful of poison, and Rena's lunchbox was soon empty. It was kind of bad that no one thought to leave any for Rena. Holy shit, I was right. But Rena seemed rather satisfied as she looked on.
いかがかしら。レナさんもとてもお料理が上手ですことよ。ケイイチさんとは大違いですの。
だからお前が威張ることじゃねえだろ。
サトコだってケイちゃんと変わらないじゃんよ。あんたブロッコリーとカリフラワーの区別 つくようになったわけ？
Satoko's face went pale.
おいおい、ブロッコリーとカリフラワーの違いなら俺だってわかるぜ。
わかりますもの。わかるもん。
Alright then. It's very hard for her to lie.
ケイイチくん、どっちでも茹でてマヨネーズかけると美味しいじゃない？
God, what is with this goofy music?
いじめちゃかわいそうだよ。みーちゃんも。
Rena heard we try to follow up, but Mion laughed hotly as she drew closer to Satoko. Fuck.
まあまあ家庭科の授業ってことで。じゃあさとこ、これは？
Mion whipped up her chopsticks. Between them was a piece of green syrup wrapped in bacon. Shit.
でもそれアスパラ。
Mion made contact with me, and within 0.3 seconds, I had Wika-chan's mouth covered, holding a piece of bacon-wrapped asparagus and giving her two choices. She's pretty terrible.
黄色がカリフラワー、緑がカリフラ。
さあどっちだ？
多分黄色がブロッコリーで青がカリフラワー。でも緑は
本当にどっちか分かってる？降参した方が良くない？
I expected no less from the class representative, the oldest. The way she drives people into a corner just shows how much experience she has. This is just a hunch, but being brought into the Sonozaki household must be quite the ordeal.
わかりますもの。
I wonder if that's any subtle foreshadowing.
じゃあ答えなよ。
わかるもん。わかるもん。
Oh, great. She finally broke down and started crying. When she acts like this, she actually starts to seem her age. And Rena's eyes once again became milky black spots. Rena entered a state of euphoria as Satoko bawled her eyes out. Rena was in a state of bliss as she rubbed her cheek against Satoko's head and smothered her. Really, a very content face. One that wouldn't care if the world ended right then. It was that kind of smile.
レナ、ミオンさんがいじめるんですの。かいかい。大丈夫だよ。レナお姉ちゃんが悪い人たちはやっつけちゃうからね。
Excuse me? Jesus, fuck! Fresh, boom, bam! It's like the flash of lightning.
今一体何が？
The fuck just happened? Both of Rena's fists shot out at supersonic speed, striking Mion and me squarely in both our faces. Before we knew it, Mion and I were spotted spread eagle on the floor, staring up at the ceiling with matching welts on our
ケイ
faces.
ちゃんは食らうの初めてだよね。今日のはまだ甘い方。
甘いって、これよりまだ上があるってのかよ。
Gee, let's hope this doesn't turn violent. With that, Mion and I both swamped our heads back to the floor in unison. From now on, I'll be careful when I'm within striking distance of Rena.
ほら、さとこちゃん、やっつけちゃったよ。かい。お持ち帰りしたい。
Rena, we've talked about this before. That's human abduction. Making sure Rena couldn't see it, Satoko stuck her tongue out at us. Damn it all, using Rena like a puppet. Wika-chan massaged our bruises without saying a word. And I think this is a good time to stop. It's already been 50 minutes, and I feel like we've achieved nothing. But now, gotta slowly build you in. Just gotta slowly, step by step, and then can't wait for the tension to fucking blow up, thing with these type of games. So, yeah, if you enjoy this type of content, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, hit the like button. Want to tell me something, put it down in the comments below. Want to check out my Twitter or the Discord server I am in, check the description below. And yeah, this has been Voidlego. I'll see you guys next time. See ya!
Have you ever wanted to play? You could meet people and kick them in the face. Well, I got news for you. It's a place called Jimmy